The night on Arona 5 was colder than usual. Wind moved like a slow ghost between broken metal stalls, old signs, and empty food carts. The marketplace once had color, sound, and warm lights. Now it was silent, dark, and almost dead. Only fear lived here now. People hid inside their houses with doors locked tight, too scared to walk outside after sunset. Ryan, a human traveler, walked through the ruins alone. His boots made soft sounds on the dusty floor. He held a small light in his hand, scanning the shadows. He came here to find supplies for his ship, but the market felt abandoned. Something was wrong. Something had happened here. Something violent. Then he heard it. A small cry. Weak, trembling, he stopped walking. He listened again. Another cry. Soft, frightened, like a child who had lost everything. Ryan followed the sound, moving between broken crates and old metal barrels. His heart beat faster with each step. He knew that cry. He had heard it on many planets, the sound of hunger mixed with fear. Behind a fallen storage crate, he saw her. A small alien cub, maybe 6 or 7 years old, sat curled up in the dust. Her skin was pale blue, her hair tangled, her thin arms wrapped around her empty stomach. Her big bright eyes stared at him, filled with fear and hope. She held a broken food pack in her tiny hand, but there was nothing inside. Her lips were dry. She looked like she had not eaten for days. When she saw him, she tried to stand, but her legs shook. She almost fell, catching herself on the crate. Don't hurt me," she whispered, her voice almost gone. Ryan knelt down slowly so he wouldn't scare her. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said softly. "Are you alone?" She shook her head. Her eyes moved toward the deeper shadows behind him, like she feared something hiding there. Ryan reached into his bag and took out a small energy bar. The cub's eyes widened. Her breathing changed. She looked like she was staring at treasure. He placed the food on the ground and pushed it toward her. "You can eat," he said gently. "It's okay." For a moment she didn't move. Then hunger won. She grabbed the food and ate fast, almost too fast. Crumbs fell on her lap, and she hurried to catch them with shaky fingers. Ryan watched her, feeling something heavy in his chest. No child should ever look this desperate. "What's your name?" he asked. "Leary," she whispered with her mouth still full. "That's a nice name." She looked up at him, surprised that a human said something kind to her. A very small smile appeared on her face, the first sign of life he had seen in her. But then her smile faded. She looked behind him again, fear returning to her eyes. Ryan turned around. There was nothing in the dark, no noise, no movement. "Is someone there?" he asked. "My mother," Leary said quietly. "She told me to stay hidden. She told me not to talk to anyone." "Where is she?" Ryan asked. Leary lowered her head. "She went to find food before sunset. But she didn't come back. She always comes back." Ryan felt something cold inside him. If the mother didn't return, something bad must have happened. He stood up and looked around the silent market. Everything felt wrong. Too quiet, too empty, too dangerous. "Did something happen here?" he asked. Leary nodded softly. "Bad men came. They were looking for us. They said Mother must come with them. Mother ran with me, but we got separated." Ryan crouched again, speaking gently. "Don't worry. I'll help you find her." "No," she said sharply. "You must go. If Mother comes and sees you, she will be angry." "Angry? Why?" But Leary didn't explain. She hugged her knees and stared into the darkness, eyes shaking like she expected a monster to appear at any second. Ryan placed a hand on her shoulder. "You're safe," he said. "I promise." At that exact moment, the wind changed. It moved fast, cold, sharp, like something big had entered the ruins. Ryan felt hairs rise on his neck. Leary froze. Her breathing stopped. The air behind them shifted. Someone was there. Slow footsteps echoed across the metal floor. Calm, controlled, dangerous. Leary gasped and grabbed Ryan's hand, hiding behind him. Her tiny body trembled. "She's here," the cub whispered. "Mother." Ryan stood up and slowly turned. A tall figure stepped out of the deep shadows. Her presence felt powerful. Her eyes glowed faintly. Her elegant alien markings reflected the moonlight. She was breathtaking, but there was something deadly in the way she moved. Her voice came out soft, but filled with warning. "Human," she whispered, "why are you feeding my child?" Ryan felt his heart sink. He had made his first mistake. Helping the cub had brought him face to face with someone far more dangerous than he expected. Someone beautiful, someone fierce, someone hunted, and she was staring at him like he had crossed a line he should never cross. Ryan froze as the tall alien woman stepped fully into the moonlight. She moved with slow, controlled grace, like a queen who once ruled something powerful. Her skin had a soft glow, her eyes sharp and bright. She was beautiful, dangerously beautiful. But more than beauty, Ryan felt authority around her. Something strong, something protective, something that warned him to back away. Leary, the small cub, ran to her mother and hugged her legs tightly. "Mother, I was scared," she whispered. The woman placed a gentle hand on her daughter's head, then lifted her eyes to Ryan again. Her stare was cold, calculating, deep. "You," she said, her voice calm but sharp. "A human. Feeding my child. Why?" Ryan raised his hand slowly to show he meant no harm. "She was starving. I couldn't leave her like that." The woman moved closer. Ryan felt her presence push into the air. "And humans always help strangers?" she asked. "Or is this your first mistake?" Ryan swallowed. There was something about her tone, not soft, not angry, but dangerous with hidden layers. "What do you mean, mistake?" She didn't answer immediately. She knelt down and checked Leary's face, her arms, her breathing, like she was making sure her child wasn't hurt. Only then did she stand again. "My name is Saraya," she said, "and my child should not be near any human." Leary tugged her mother's hand. "He saved me, Mother. He was kind." Saraya looked down at her daughter with a strange expression, soft for a second, then firm again. "Kindness can be dangerous, little one," she said, "especially tonight." Ryan watched her carefully. She was not like the other aliens he had met. She was sharper, sadder, stronger. Something heavy lived behind her eyes. "I didn't mean to cause trouble," Ryan said. "I only wanted to help." Saraya stepped back, eyes narrowing. "Help?" she repeated. "Do you think you can help us?" Ryan didn't know what she meant, but the way she said "us" made him feel like she carried far more weight than a mother with a hungry child. She scanned the ruins around them, her eyes alert. She didn't trust the silence. "We must move. Now," she said. "They will return." "Who will?" Ryan asked. Saraya hesitated for a moment. Then she spoke two words that made the air colder. "The hunters." Leary grabbed Ryan's hand again, fear returning to her face. "They want to take Mother away," she whispered. "And me." Saraya pulled Leary close to her side. "Be quiet, child. We do not know if they are near." Ryan looked around the empty market. "What do these hunters want from you?" Saraya looked him directly in the eyes. "They want what is left of my bloodline," she said. "What remains of my tribe. My child and I are the last ones." Ryan felt a shock run through him. "The last?" Saraya nodded. "We escaped their camp 2 nights ago. I hid Leary and went to find food. But the hunters spread through the ruins. They smell fear. They follow footsteps. They caught our trail." Ryan stepped closer before he even realized it. Then let me help you get out of here. Saraya's expression hardened again. You do not know what you are offering. Humans do not get involved with our kind. It never ends well. Ryan shook his head. I'm already involved. Leary came to me. She trusted me. I can't abandon you. Saraya stared at him for a long moment. Emotion flickered behind her eyes. Confusion, doubt, maybe gratitude, maybe fear. But she didn't show weakness for long. You are brave, she said, or foolish. Ryan smiled slightly. Maybe both. Leary smiled too, her tiny hand still holding Ryan's coat sleeve. Mother, he's good, she whispered. I feel it. Saraya closed her eyes for a moment. She clearly loved her daughter more than anything. And she clearly didn't want to trust Ryan, but Leary's voice mattered to her. Finally, Saraya sighed. If you come with us, human, you must follow my lead. There is no room for mistakes. I can do that, Ryan said. Saraya turned and led them through the ruins. Her movements were quiet, sharp, trained. She knew how to hide, how to protect, how to fight Dot as they moved. She spoke without turning her head. Do not slow down. Do not speak loudly. And do not touch my daughter unless she reaches for you first. Ryan nodded. Understood, Leary whispered. He already did. I reached for him. Saraya stopped walking for half a second. Her jaw tightened. Then she continued moving. They passed broken stalls, silent alleys, and burnt signs. The wind carried strange smells. Smoke, metal, fear. Ryan kept glancing around. The ruins felt alive. Watched. Stalked. Saraya suddenly raised her hand, signaling them to stop. Her voice dropped to a whisper. They are here. Ryan felt the back of his neck tighten. Then he heard Dot metal footsteps. Slow, heavy. Getting closer, Saraya pulled Leary behind a fallen column. Ryan pressed his back to the wall, heart pounding. Voices drifted through the darkness. Hunt the mother. The cub must be taken alive. The Lord wants them both. Spread out. They were seen near this market. Saraya's eyes flashed with cold rage. Ryan looked at her and whispered, What do we do? Saraya's voice was a razor. We run. Saraya didn't wait. The moment she whispered, We run, she grabbed Leary's hand and pushed forward. Her movements were fast, sharp, almost silent. Ryan followed close behind, trying to match her speed as the ruins around them filled with the echo of metal boots. Stay close. Human, Saraya said without looking back. If they catch you too, I cannot save you. Ryan managed a breathless reply. I'm not leaving you behind. Saraya didn't respond, but the corner of her eye softened for a moment. Just a moment, before she focused ahead again. They slipped through a dark alley between two broken buildings. Leary kept looking up at Ryan with wide, frightened eyes, but her tiny hand didn't let go of his coat sleeve. She felt safer with him near. Behind them, a loud voice shouted, They went this way. Spread out. Ryan felt the sound crawl down his spine like ice. Are they many? He whispered. Too many, Saraya answered. Armed, smart, trained, and they want you alive? Saraya gave him a steady look. They want my power, and my daughter's future. Leary squeezed her mother's hand harder. Saraya pointed to a broken ventilation shaft ahead. Inside, now. Ryan went first, crawling through the narrow metal tunnel. Saraya pushed Leary in, then slid in behind her. The walls were cold and covered in dust. Every movement made a small echo. Quiet, Saraya reminded. Ryan held his breath as the sound of boots moved right above them. Shadows passed through the cracks in the metal. A mercenary's voice echoed, They cannot be far. The Lord said the human might interfere. Capture him too. Saraya leaned closer to Ryan and whispered, You see? Your mistake is now his command. Ryan whispered back, I don't regret helping her. Saraya looked at him seriously, the faint glow of her eyes reflecting off the metal. You may regret it soon. They stayed still as the hunters searched the area. Leary trembled quietly, trying not to cry. Ryan touched her head gently, calming her. Saraya noticed, but said nothing. After a moment, the footsteps faded. We go, Saraya said softly. They crawled out of the duct into a wider tunnel, old, rusted, abandoned long ago. Faint blue lights flickered on the walls. Ryan asked, "Where does this place lead?" "To the old ship graveyard," Saraya said. "Lots of places to hide. Many broken hulls. But also dangerous." Ryan shrugged. "Dangerous is better than caught." Saraya looked at him again, this time with a tiny bit of respect. "You are not useless for a human." "Thank you." "I think," Ryan whispered. "Lir." I giggled softly. For the first time since night fell. But the moment of peace didn't last long. A loud crash echoed behind them, someone forcing open the ventilation shaft. "They found the trail," Saraya said. "Move!" They ran deeper into the tunnel, dodging fallen pipes and debris. Saraya moved with surprising speed while holding Leary close to her side. Ryan kept up, breathing hard, but determined not as they reached the end of the tunnel. Saraya stopped suddenly and raised her hand. Ryan almost bumped into her. "What is it?" He whispered. "Seraya pointed ahead. The tunnel opened into a massive underground chamber filled with dead ships, huge broken engines, twisted metal, and old docking rails. The place looked like a graveyard of ancient battles. "The shipyard," Saraya said. "We can hide in the hulls. But the hunters know this place too." Ryan scanned the huge open area. "Then we choose the darkest ship, the most broken one. The one hunters will ignore." Saraya nodded slowly, impressed. "Very well," she said. "Follow me." They climbed into the wreckage of an old transport ship, the hull cracked open like a giant metal rib cage. Inside, Ryan could smell old oil and coal dust. Leary held his arm tightly as they moved deeper into the darkness. A weak blue light flickered on the wall. Ryan used it to look around. There were old crates, torn seats, and broken control panels. Saraya placed Leary in a corner and checked the surroundings with quick movements. "We stay here until they pass." Ryan sat down beside Leary. The cub leaned into him, exhausted. He gently brushed dust from her hair. "You're safe," he whispered. Saraya watched him quietly from the shadows. After a moment, she spoke in a low voice. "You risked your life for a child that is not yours." "Why?" Ryan looked up at her. "No child deserves to starve. No child deserves to run for their life." Saraya's expression changed. Something heavy inside her loosened. Her voice softened. "You sound like someone who lost a child before." Ryan hesitated. "I did lose someone. Not a child, but someone I loved. I couldn't save them." Saraya understood immediately. Her eyes lowered in sympathy. "That pain never leaves," she said softly. Ryan nodded. "No, it doesn't." Leary looked between them with calm eyes, sensing the moment, but the quiet didn't last. Metallic clank echoed from outside the ship. Ryan and Saraya both reacted instantly. Saraya whispered, "They are close." Ryan grabbed a broken metal rod. "You said hiding was enough. But if they find us," Saraya's eyes glowed slightly, a warning mixed with power. "If they find us, human, I will fight. And you will run." "No," Ryan said firmly. "I'll fight with you." Saraya stared at him, surprised by the certainty in his voice. "Humans," she whispered, almost amused. "Always the stubborn ones." The footsteps grew louder. The leader's voice rang out. "Search every ship. The mother is near. Bring the cub alive." Saraya's face hardened. Leary began to cry silently. Ryan tightened his grip on the metal rod. The hunters were right outside. Seraya turned to Ryan and whispered, "Stay behind me." The hull door creaked as someone pulled it open, and the nightmare entered. The old ship's broken metal door slid open with a long, painful screech. Dust fell from the ceiling. Ryan held his breath. Seraya pulled Leary behind her, her body instantly changing, shoulders tense, stance wide, eyes glowing brighter than before. She looked less like a hunted mother and more like a warrior queen, ready to defend her world. 3 mercenaries stepped inside the wreckage. Their armor was scratched and dirty, but their weapons were sharp and glowing with energy. Their leader held a scanner that flickered red. "There," he said. 3 life signs. 1 adult. 1 human. 1 cub. Ryan felt cold sweat on his neck. The leader smirked. "The Lord will pay extra for the human too." Saraya's voice turned into ice. "You will not touch my child." The mercenaries laughed. "And who will stop us? You?" Her eyes flashed with deadly light. "Yes," she said. The closest mercenary stepped forward, raising his weapon. "Come quietly. Don't force us to hurt the cub." Leary whimpered softly. Ryan stepped in front of her without thinking. The mercenary sneered. "Move, human. This is not your fight." Ryan gripped his metal rod tighter. "It is now." Saraya's eyes widened for half a second, surprised. Then she moved. She attacked faster than Ryan expected. Her hand shot out with a glowing strike, hitting the mercenary's chest and sending him crashing into the hull wall. The remaining 2 reacted instantly. 1 fired an energy shot. Seraya dodged, but the shot hit the metal near Ryan, exploding sparks. Ryan lunged at the second mercenary and smashed his rod against the man's wrist. The weapon fell. Ryan kicked it away and ducked as the mercenary swung back. Ryan blocked with the rod, but the impact hurt his arm. Seraya grabbed the mercenary attacking Ryan and twisted his arm behind his back, slamming him against the floor. The leader stepped back, shocked. "You should not have this power." Seraya raised her hand, energy glowing around her fingers. "You should not threaten my family." The leader aimed his gun at Leary. "Stop, or the cub dies." Leary froze. Ryan felt his heart almost stop. Seraya froze too, her eyes widening with fear. The leader smirked. "Good, now step away, slowly." Ryan whispered to Seraya. "We can't let him take her." Seraya whispered back. "I know." The leader moved closer to Leary, weapon aimed straight at her small chest. What he didn't see was Ryan shifting slightly, slowly. Preparing, Seraya breathed out, soft and calm. A signal. Ryan charged first. He slammed into the leader's arm, knocking the gun upward. The shot fired into the ceiling. Seraya moved like lightning, sweeping the leader's legs and pinning him down. But the leader was strong. He grabbed Ryan by the throat and slammed him into the wall. Ryan gasped for air, struggling to break free. Leary screamed, "Ryan!" Saraya's eyes went wild, a mother's rage unleashed. She touched the leader's forehead with her glowing fingers. A flash of deep blue light exploded from her hand. The leader screamed as the energy hit him. His body jerked violently, and then he collapsed, unconscious. The ship grew quiet. Ryan slid down the wall, coughing. Seraya rushed to him. "You are hurt," she said urgently. Ryan shook his head. "I'm fine. I just need air." Seraya placed her glowing hand over his neck, using a soft pulse of healing energy. The pain faded. Ryan stared at her, stunned. "You healed me?" Seraya looked away, embarrassed. "A little. Not fully. But you protected my daughter. I could not let you suffer." Leary ran to Ryan and hugged him tightly. "I was scared," she whispered. Ryan hugged her back. It's okay now. You're safe. Saraya watched them, really watched them. A strange emotion appeared in her eyes. Something warm. Something she had been trying to fight since the moment she first saw Ryan. She sat down beside him. Her voice softened. You fought like one of us, she said. Why? Ryan looked at her. Because your daughter trusted me. And because you... He hesitated. Saraya tilted her head. Say it. Because you trusted me too, Ryan said quietly. Saraya's breath caught for a moment. She hadn't expected that answer. Leary looked up at her mother and smiled. He's good, Mother. I told you. Saraya brushed Leary's cheek gently. Yes, maybe he is. The ship creaked suddenly. They all tensed, thinking another group was coming. But the sound faded. Saraya looked at Ryan with calm but serious eyes. We cannot stay? The hunters will not stop. Their leader will wake soon. Ryan stood up. Then we move. Together. Saraya stepped close to him. Very close. Her voice dropped low. Human, you risked your life for my child. For me, I do not forget such things. Ryan felt heat rise in his chest. You don't have to thank me. I am not thanking you, Saraya whispered. I am warning you, Ryan blinked. Warning me? Saraya's eyes glowed softly. When you protect someone like us, you become part of our fate. She lifted Ryan's chin gently with her fingers. What are you to us now? Human? Ryan didn't know how to answer, but the moment was deep, powerful, and full of meaning. Before he could speak, a distant alarm echoed through the shipyard. The hunters had found the trail again. Saraya grabbed Leary's hand. Ryan grabbed his metal rod. They looked at each other, and without speaking, they ran together. The alarms echoed across the ship graveyard like metal thunder. Red warning lights blinked in the distance, painting the ruins in a harsh glow. Ryan, Saraya, and Leary ran between broken hulls, trying to stay in the shadows. Every second counted. Every noise felt like danger. Saraya held Leary close and moved with sharp focus, her long steps silent and fast. Ryan followed right behind, gripping his metal rod. His breath was heavy, but his eyes stayed alert. They are closing in, Saraya said without turning her head. The leader must have woken. Ryan nodded. Then we need to leave this place now. Saraya led them through a crack between two ship engines and into a narrow passage filled with old cables. The smell of oil hung in the air. Leary held both of their hands, tugging them forward. Where are we going? Ryan whispered. To the outer ridge, Saraya answered. Beyond that, there is a path that leads to the human outpost. If we reach it, we are safe. Ryan blinked. You're heading to a human outpost? Saraya hesitated for a moment. I was, but alone, it would have been too dangerous. With you, the chances are better. Ryan felt warmth inside his chest at her words. So you trust me now? Saraya looked at him briefly, her glowing eyes softening. You earned it. Before Ryan could say anything more, the sound of a distant explosion shook the ground. Dust fell from the ceiling. They're forcing the tunnels open, Ryan said. Saraya grabbed his arm. Then we must hurry. They moved faster. Leary stumbled once, and Ryan lifted her into his arms without thinking. She wrapped her arms around his neck. Don't leave us, Ryan, she whispered quietly. I won't, he said. Saraya glanced back at them, something gentle and complicated in her gaze. Finally, they reached a large metal gate that opened into the outer ridge, a steep rocky path leading upward. But the gate was half collapsed, blocked by fallen beams. Saraya studied the debris. We can climb it, she said, but slowly. Slowly won't work, Ryan said. The hunters will be here any moment. He placed Leary down and started lifting the lighter beams aside. Saraya joined him. using both strength and her glowing energy to melt one of the sharp metal pieces that blocked their path. The metal hissed and softened, falling away safely. Together, they cleared enough space to squeeze through. Saraya lifted Leary through the opening first. "Go, little one, stay close to the rocks." Then she turned to Ryan. "You next." Ryan shook his head. "You go." "I'll hold the back." Saraya's expression changed, anger mixed with concern. "Do not be foolish. If you stay, you will die." Ryan smiled. "You forget. I'm a stubborn human." Saraya stared at him, then stepped close. "You will not die. That is not allowed." Her voice almost broke on the last word. Ryan gently touched her hand. "I won't, I promise." Saraya pressed her forehead to his for one brief, quiet second, a gesture from her culture that carried deep meaning. Then she climbed through the opening and extended her hand back for him. "Hurry, Ryan." He began climbing after her, but a shot rang out behind them. A blast hit the ground near Ryan's feet, exploding dust. Ryan spun around. The hunters had arrived. The leader stood among them, armor cracked, eyes filled with rage. "You should have run," he growled. "Now all three of you die." Ryan gripped his rod and stepped in front of the opening. Saraya reached for him. "Ryan, no!" Leary screamed. "Don't leave us." Ryan didn't move. He planted his feet firmly, breathing slowly, facing the hunters alone. "You want them?" he said. "You'll have to go through me." The leader laughed. "A human against us? Pathetic." Ryan lifted the rod. "Try it." The leader rushed forward with 2 mercenaries behind him. Ryan fought with everything he had, blocking strikes, dodging energy blades, swinging the rod with desperation and heart. He wasn't trained, he wasn't fast, but he was stubborn, and he refused to fall. Saraya watched, trembling with fear and something deeper. She whispered to herself, "Why would he do this for us?" Ryan took a hit to the shoulder and stumbled, barely staying on his feet. Leary cried harder. "Mother, help him." "Please." Saraya's eyes filled with rage and love. "No one touches him," she whispered. Her markings glowed brighter than ever before. She stepped through the opening and unleashed a surge of energy so strong the air itself rippled. The blast threw the mercenaries back like rag dolls. The leader fell to one knee. Stunned, Ryan stared, shocked. You didn't leave." Saraya ran to him and held his face between her hands. "I will never leave you. Not after what you did." The leader rose again, limping. Saraya turned to him with deadly calm. "This ends now." Her final strike was silent, precise, and powerful. The leader collapsed, unconscious and defeated. The shipyard finally grew quiet. Saraya helped Ryan stand. He leaned into her, exhausted but alive. Leary ran to them and hugged both tightly. "Don't ever go away," she cried. "Please stay with us." Ryan hugged her back. Saraya looked at Ryan. No walls, no fear, only trust and gratitude. "You saved my child," she whispered. "You saved me. I cannot let you walk away alone." Ryan took her hand gently. "Then don't." Saraya smiled softly, her first true smile. "We leave together," she said. "And whatever comes next, we face it as one." Ryan nodded. "I'd like that." Leary held both their hands as they walked toward the rising sun over the ridge. And for the first time in a long, painful journey, Saraya, Leary, and Ryan were a family, not by blood, but by choice, by courage, and by the moment one human decided to help a starving cub.